There's a great line by Lev Manovich that says that cinema essentially became a new branch of painting, painting in time. The more the photoplays developed, the more it was felt that it was not their task simply to be an inexpensive imitation of the theatre, but that they should bring us an entirely new form of art. Who dares to say that the marble bust is a failure because it cannot show us the colours which give charm to the portrait painting? On the contrary, we destroy the beauty of the marble statue as soon as we paint the cheeks of a Venus. Now think about it. No other technology that preceded it for capturing the numinous, for clothing the numinous, unfolded in dimension, the fourth dimension of time. With ecstatic painting, again, creating a portrait, a snapshot of an ephemeral experience, whereas cinema became this branch of painting that unfolds in time. And so consider that notion. The photoplay can overcome the limits of time just as easily as those of space. In many of the newer plays, an unusual fascination is secured by interrupting the pictures of the present events with quickly passing images of earlier scenes. It's as if a quick remembrance were fleeting through our mind. It is never the purpose of an art simply to imitate nature. It is the very essence of art to give us something which appeals to us with the claims of reality, and yet which is entirely different from real nature and real life, and is set off from them by its artistic means. So, I think a lot about the transformative power of cinema, the interpersonal impact of a great film. A great film can awaken us to our inner genius. A great film can imprint itself in our consciousness and transform us from within. The French New Wave filmmaker, Jean-Luc Godard, said that cinema was truth 24 times per second. All of a sudden, we had a technological mediated dream space, a way to access a portal to the numinous that unfolded in the fourth dimension. So cinema became a kind of waking dream where we could travel in space and time, where we could travel in our mind. This became more than virtual reality. This became a real virtuality, the simulated catharsis, the symbolic, allegorical hero's journey we got to take every time we watched a movie. It became real, right? It was literalized in our psyche. The change is not one outside but inside our mind. It is a turning of our attention. We became literally soul surfers when we watch movies. The core of a man lies in his feelings and emotions. As soon as the photoplay moves along its own way, the expression of feelings and emotions will come to the foreground. In our feelings and emotion, the mind takes a sort of stand toward the surroundings. Again, the camera must be made to imitate such a mental action. Unlike the film Inception says, the director is able to architect what is essentially a dream space that the audience can then fill with their subconscious. The photoplay is an art in which not only the outer events, but our own inner actions become effective. Our own attention is projected into the life around us. Linkletter goes even further. He says that human beings knew how to watch movies because we've been doing it for hundreds and thousands of years already in the dream space. And so the reason that it was so natural, so intuitive, so innate for us to know exactly how to watch movies when these came online was because we've been doing it every night forever. So what we see with cinema is that technological advancements met consciousness in a new art form, giving us access to the numinous realms. Gene Youngblood expanded on this in his book, Expanded Cinema. He says cinema reflects mankind's historical urge to manifest his consciousness, his interiority outside of his mind, in front of his eyes. Cinema is a mirror we hold up to ourselves that reveals us to ourselves. It's a dream-sharing technology that allows us to visit the space of truth, an archetype of myth, of legend. It's the magical borderline. It's the story world in which we lose ourselves and we find ourselves. And I love this notion because I love the transformative capacity of cinema as a maximum ultimate expression of inner subjective explorations, transpersonal spaces, the spaces of dreams, the spaces of mind, the liminal zones. It's pushing the limits of theatrical illusion to see what we can learn about ourselves. Films will bring us to the noble fulfillment of an artistic desire which none of the other arts can bring. This is truly the art of the future. The book Cartographic Cinema goes even further. It says that cinema is cartography for the mind. Cinema is a map for consciousness, offering us orientation in this imaginal realm of dream. And of course, with such power comes great responsibility. Cinema as a tool, as a technique for such cathartic illumination, means that filmmakers have a responsibility to craft work that thrusts the human spirit into the numinous. We need to expand the consciousness of society. As filmmakers, as craftsmen of the lens, this is our responsibility. That's what I think.